Our coverage continues with today's protest in downtown Detroit.
Hundreds showed up to protest the alleged murder of Floyd and other African Americans killed earlier in police custody.
7 Action News reporter Rudy Harper is live downtown with the latest. And Rudy, quite a turnout today.
Well, Glenda, the protest continues right at this hour. A small group of protesters are right down the road in front of MGM Grand Casino. Police also in force out here right now around those protesters, a developing situation right now. But earlier today, protesters were in downtown, Corktown, Midtown, demonstrators out in force demanding accountability.
We got to stand together. The time is long since passed.
I remember when I was 9 years old, she told me to sit down and had a conversation about racism with me, something that no kid should have to go through.
In downtown Detroit, demonstrators showed up in droves. Hundreds rallied in front of police headquarters.
And I think we have a unique opportunity to use this momentum to demand change.
These protesters demand police accountability, transparency, and justice following the death of 46-year-old George Floyd while in custody of Minneapolis police. He begged for his life as an officer kneeled on his neck for at least 7 minutes. The gruesome video shared across the world.
I can't breathe.
Stuff went through my heart really at first, or my stomach, it was sickening.
Protesters are calling for an end to police brutality and killings. Across the country, we've seen some violent protests in the streets and an explosion of anger.
There is systemic injustices that we must address. And we've been preaching it, we've been rallying about it, protesting about it for far too long. And I think we are at a point where there is a shift happening where we're not asking anymore, we are demanding that it take place.
This is a system that needs to be broken down completely and completely restructured.
And back out here live, we know that police have made several arrests at this point. They could not give us a number. We expect Chief James Craig to come and speak to us at any moment now. We will bring that to you as soon as he comes out here. From what we saw earlier today, overall things were peaceful, but a window in a police cruiser was smashed out. Still unclear, as I mentioned, how many arrests police have made at this point. We know there are possibly more than 10 is what an officer told me walking by. Now, a majority of these people were wearing face coverings under the threat of the pandemic. And I want to send things back to you at this point.
Okay, Rudy. All right. Thanks so much. Do we know if there will be any more rallies this weekend? Are police anticipating that? And hopefully your safety is not in question right now.
Well, those protesters are down there in front of MGM Grand. We are watching them, and police have been kind of, have a staging point where they continue to back up. So, of course, we'll move if they tell us to move at this point. But that's a good question. Are there more rallies planned? Well, today's rally, the organizer told us he only expected about 10 people. We counted hundreds out here today. These rallies seem to be spontaneous, so there's no clue exactly what's going to happen at this point. But those protesters are right now in front of MGM Grand, a pretty big crowd. I would estimate more than 30 people here at this point. So a developing situation here in downtown Detroit right now, Glenda.
Yeah, as emotions are on a high, Rudy. All right, stay safe. Thank you. Dave?